All right, so after talking about negative space, we're gonna create our own negative space paint stick paintings with Zentangle. So before you start anything, make sure you write your name in pencil and then flip it over. To create this negative space, we're gonna be using tape and then we're gonna paint over them with the paint sticks. So what I want you to do is take 10 pieces of tape and you're gonna place them all over your paper in random order. The trick with the tape too is you wanna find the edge and peel it up and then just pull from there. Once you started pulling, you're gonna kind of measure it across your paper so it goes off of the edge. To get your tape off of the tape roll, you're gonna rip it. I have this hand going forward, this hand pulling towards me, or you could just cut it with your scissors. So I'm just gonna rip it. Then in any random design, you're gonna put your tape on your paper. So I'm gonna start my first one here. And what I'm actually doing is I'm taping it right to the table. This is fine, this will help it not move. So that's my first piece. I'm gonna do 10 total. Perfect, so I have them all balanced throughout my entire piece of paper. It's not going anywhere because it's taped to the table. Now what we're gonna do is take our paint sticks. You can use any colors you want. And since we're taking off the tape after, don't really worry about getting too much of the paint stick on the tape. Worry about getting the paint stick on the white bits of paper. What's nice about these paint sticks too is they blend really nicely. So if you're doing a design in a box, and you want to combine colors, they blend really nicely while they're still wet. So you can really kind of create these new, really interesting color sections throughout your entire piece. So what you're going to do is fill up the whole thing with those paint sticks. When you put your paint sticks back away, make sure you turn them down and then put the cap on nice and tight so that they don't dry out. Make sure all the caps are on the paint sticks and make sure all of your spots are filled where your tape will give you the negative space. Perfect, so now what we wanna do is we wanna very carefully take up our tape. And talking about negative and positive space, where the color is your positive space. Where we take the tape away is our negative space. So it's like we're almost subtracting that, making it negative. When you take off the tape, you will notice that some layers of tape are on top of other layers. You can't take down off the bottom layers first. So you want to very carefully start to work just by peeling up your tape. If you rip too fast, what will happen is it will rip your paper. So work very, very, very slowly. If it does rip your paper, just keep the piece that was ripped off. We'll glue it back on. So you can see right here, this piece of tape is under this piece of tape. So now I need to go work on this one to get it up before I take off the piece underneath it. Then just take your tape, roll it into a ball, set it aside. Then continue to work very, very slowly, taking off all of those pieces of tape. Perfect, so you can see where my paper ripped a little bit right here, but I actually kind of like how it creates that texture. If a little piece rips off, it's okay. That's just what happens when you put tape on your paper. If there's any spots you need to glue back down, you can glue them back down. And here is our negative and positive space painting. Where the paint is the positive space, and where the tape was taken off is the negative space. Make sure your tape ball gets crumpled up and goes into the trash. Now in the negative space, we're going to start to add Zentangle. And what Zentangle is it's a type of doodling usually done with black Sharpie or black marker. And we're gonna do the Zentangle only in the negative space. So only in the lines where we pulled up our tape. If you're stuck and not sure what to doodle, I made a Zentangle guide. It looks like this. In here, you have examples of different types of Zentangles. Some are hard, some are easy. So pick one that you think that you're comfortable with. Even if you think it's super hard, look at it. See what types of lines are in it. This one has lines going across that are curved, and then in between, it's got lines swooping under and swooping over. So it may be easier than you think. Pick one that you feel comfortable with. You also have the choice of doing more than one type of Zentangle. If you want to do the whole thing with one style, you can, or you can switch it up and do different types of Zentangle in different spots. You are the artist, you get to decide. So I'm going to fast forward this part so you can see how I work my Zentangles into the negative space. Perfect, so now that I'm all done, I'm just gonna double check to make sure there's no spots I wanna fix or add anything to. So I see it's kind of light over here or kind of similar to this section. So I'm just gonna add little more details in here and then I am done. Perfect, when you're done, just double check to make sure your name is on the back and then you can hand it in.